Hello and welcome to Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics. This is Cyrus, where we talk about some complex paranormal subjects. First of all, I want to apologize because I haven't done many videos. Recently, I have been kind of in transit to different places here in Japan, staying in different hostels, sometimes not so conducive to making videos. As it stands right now, I have to be a little bit more quiet than I usually am because there are people sleeping in rooms to my left and to my right. So if I'm a little bit more hushed, that's why. So with this video, I want to get into talking about many of the misconceptions that arises with this subject, how those misconceptions come into being, and what we can do about it. Now, I don't want to be somebody who claims to be a know-it-all who has all the answers, so these are my opinions that I form based on my own experiences, based on corroborating information, and some level, I would say, of objective evidence, which is what I deal with. And this has led to certain conclusions about the way things seem to operate on the metaphysical, esoteric level. So this actually leads to a post I saw recently on the Astral projection forum by somebody claiming to be an out-of-body researcher. And if they are an out-of-body researcher, then of course more power to them. I'm happy people are taking this subject seriously and conducting experiments and even allegedly learning how to interact physically in this environment in the out-of-body state. Very interesting stuff. I'm very curious about that. Nonetheless, this person unfortunately went quite left field and has presented some ideas which I think are contradictory to basically, the way a lot of us have experiences on this level, and it can lead to a whole chain reaction of I think really bad misconceptions about the afterlife. So I want to talk about how those misconceptions happen. Real quick, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. If you're new around here, subscribing, punching the blue notification bell, hitting like, all of that helps keep this little tiny channel going. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so any help with that is really needed to continue. So this is the post in question. So this is in response to the topic of Astral, SEX. I don't want to say the complete word because YouTube might censor the video, or at least I'll draw a red flag if I say the dreaded SEX word. So let's just say doing astral lovemaking. So this guy is claiming, okay, he says a lot of people are confusing lucid dreams and actual astral projection. True, this does happen, but it doesn't happen the way this guy is claiming. When you project, what you project is your consciousness, and the actual shape and form of that projection is a ball-shaped energy. Oh, here we go with the ball of light stuff, hence the term astral. You don't project your hands, feet, or genitals. So this guy's making wild assumptions, first of all. Hence the term astral. Astral refers to basically realms of existence that are outside of this one, and it's quite a varied, quite a generalized term. So projection is the ability to project your consciousness into that realm, but sometimes it even involves being there quite physically in what we would call an astral body. So the terminology astral body is very ancient. The concept is very ancient. It goes back to everything from ancient Egyptology to ancient yogic traditions to the Tibetan Book of the Dead to, of course, modern times, because many people have recognized being in like a replica of their physical body on that side. This is nothing new, and out-of-body experiencers and some near-death experiencers have been able to verify these things by being in their astral bodies, as I have many times. And basically it's a cosmic copy and paste job. So the universe hits copy on your body and pastes it into a different dimension where you have all the same rules, all the same acts, all the same abilities, except, well, not all the same rules. You have all the same abilities, but with new rules, new new abilities on top of those old abilities because you're now in a different dimension with different physics, and it's much more consciousness based. But this doesn't mean that your body disappears and now you only can be an orb of light, a ball-shaped energy like this guy is claiming with, in my opinion, a lot of arrogance to make these claims, and in the thread that followed up, not leaving room for argument or other people's experiences. And if you find the thread on this group in question, you'll probably see me on there arguing with this dude. But what I don't like seeing are these misconceptions happen, which gives way to a lot of fear and anxiety about the subject. So, and I'm all about the truth. I mean, if the evidence was what this guy is saying, then I would accept the evidence, regardless of my own personal biases, because I care about getting at the truth. But the thing is that the evidence doesn't match up with what this guy is saying. So he says, yes, it is possible if you have enough power to generate a simulated environment that allows your consciousness and other beings in astral form to experience as if an actual location such as a house, castle, palace. However, there will be no sensation of touch. So first of all, let me just back up. Astral environments are not generated. A lucid dream is a generated environment, which can be shared. An astral environment, otherwise what we would call like life after death, beautiful realms and forests and temples and castles and cities and other planes of existence, these are not generated. Now, the author of this post later in the thread said he recognizes there are other planes of existence like I just described, but is apparently separating that from astral projection, saying you can't go there with astral projection, which is very weird because so many of us do that. And then he goes on to claim that there is no actual sensation of touch. Well, this misconception happens because of people having low-level astral experiences where, let's say, 10% of their consciousness is in the astral side and 90% is still on your unconscious body. So you have, so you're only projecting a little bit of your mind, and it's not enough to obtain full sensory perception. So it's a limited experience. So this misconception happens because somebody has a limited experience like that, has no, I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Again, I usually do these videos unedited, so if I'm sneezing, then I'm sneezing and you got to deal with it. But that's life, isn't it? That's having a physical body. Can you sneeze astrally? I've never done it. Maybe sneezing stops. To continue. So when you have a limited experience, maybe you don't have those actual sensations, but it's I think irresponsible to then report, oh well, this didn't happen to me, therefore it doesn't happen to anybody else. It's that line of thinking that causes 90% of these misconceptions. Okay, so this kind of train wreck of a post continues. It is also possible to interact directly with other beings in astral form, allowing your energies to be in each other's boundaries, but the experience that you will feel is bonding or merging, not sexual. This sounds like someone's kind of puritanical concepts coming in. So many people who do astral projection have talked about astral sex, including myself. I've done that. And in the astral body, when you're in that body, you have full access to your body as well as the ability to not be your body. If you want to be an orb of light, you can be an orb of light. So it's like you get all the programming code that comes with having a body here, and then you can bring that into whatever realm or plane you want to go into. And the vast majority of people stay within the bodies they had here, and slowly adapt them or change them or become something else or become younger, more beautiful, but it's what they're used to. And the body is a tool that we use to navigate a realm, to navigate a plane of existence. That's the purpose of a body. The astral plane of existence still requires navigation. We may still need to pick things up with our hands, or we may want to use the sensory apparatuses that we have, or the filtration mechanisms of an astral brain. So we may still require all of that, and so we use bodily forms. It doesn't I mean, we don't have access to those things, and as a result, you better believe there's a lot of sex. Oops, I said it. YouTube's gonna censor me. There's a lot of love making on that realm. There is no shortage of those things happening if you choose to go down that road, or maybe you just are in a monogamous relationship, and you'll be able to take the SEX to the next level, much better levels, by the way. I definitely recommend studying Tantra as a way to have a preview of what kind of like real love making is all about, because most of us on this side only know the very clunky elements of it. When it comes to like so-called merging or bonding experiences, this is supposed to happen as a result and via SEX, not as if SCX. I'm just gonna say it. Screw it, YouTube. Sex. It's not as if sex gets replaced or swapped out. It's just that there's much better ways to do it, and there's more energetic and quote-unquote spiritual ways of practicing it, as opposed to more clunky ways here. In this world, as we all know, sometimes sex can be really bad. Look, I'm not gonna get too explicit here, but have you ever had sex when you had too much alcohol and your body just ain't working, if you know what I mean? Look, there's a lot of physical hang-ups we have on this side that we can begin to alleviate on the astral side, and that's great news for everybody, but it's not good news for Erwin here, who seems to be some kind of Puritan and won't even recognize that these things exist. Therefore, if you can still have sex, you're just having a lucid dream, not projection. No, you're completely confused, my friend. And I think the majority of people commenting on this thread were basically telling him that he was mistaken. So, it's not a big deal, but it's weird how somebody comes to these concrete ideas and they refuse to listen to anybody else. When battling these misconceptions, I mean, we have to look at the big picture. We have to look at other people's experiences, and we have to take it all in as a whole, and analyze the data carefully, and don't jump to conclusions, and especially don't jump to conclusions based on personal belief systems. Okay, maybe someone is raised in a religiously puritanical space, and they start coming up with these ideas like we all become orbs of light, there's no naughty parts, no naughty behavior, and that becomes our existence. But this is ultimately a subjective point of view, and it may be true for you, but it won't be true for me. So if somebody wants to be in a realm like this, they will probably automatically find themselves in that type of realm. But those of us who don't have those points of view, they don't have to go to those particular servers. Now notice I sometimes call other realms servers, because when you go into this whole field, the multiverse begins to seem much more like a big computer game sometimes, and we can call different realms, different planes, just different servers with different rules that people set up. That's one way of looking at it, and I'm sure there's a server for this guy, not for me. Well, that's it for this video. If you like this, head to afterlifetopics.com. We have the classes if you want to become like a patron supporter of the channel and join in on the kind of like behind the scenes big group discussions. You can check out some of my first books, my first book, Understanding Life After Death, for a complete rundown of astral projection conditions I found myself in, and evidence about the afterlife taken from multiple sources. So I think that's a great way to help this topic. And there's a whole section I talk about misconceptions, including about sex, where people really get this stuff wrong. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for coming in. Hope I'll get some more videos up soon, and I'll see you all on the next video.